So in this video, I want to provide you a gentle introduction to material design in Android. So material design was introduced in Android 5 API level 21, and the primary intention of material design was consistency. So what Android community thought was, say for example, when I develop an app or when you develop an app, then the UI which is rendered is consistent with the apps that Google builds. For example, the Gmail app, the weather app, there are numerous apps. So in order to achieve that, material design specifications were introduced, and material design was based on certain principles. I won't go into the details of the principles because I want to talk about material design implementation basically, but I'll definitely share links with you. So if you want, you can go through the principles on which material design is based. Like you can see, uh, they have explained it pretty well. I mean, the thought process behind this whole design philosophy, and uh, how it utilizes animation and 3D effects to really give a pump up to the UI that is rendered. Now, Android has pretty good documentation on material design, and as you can see, material design makes use of two widgets primarily: lists and cards. So, what is a card? A card is like a card basically. It's like it's like a place where information can be rendered, and it's slightly elevated. Okay, so it has a Z axis also. Now, let me explain what I'm trying to say. So, if you see this app, you have this card, right? And this card displays a picture, an image, and some information. And just below this card, there's another card, right? And there is a slight gap between these cards, and the user feels that the card is slightly elevated, which is a very nice UI experience. And what is a list? List is like a set of cards, and list is pretty efficient basically. For example, like in Gmail app, you have this list of cards basically. And what the list does is, if you read the documentation, it's like the pluggable version of list view that supports different layout types and provides performance improvements. Okay. So it has a set of cards, and it keeps on recycling those cards to display information in a list. So this is the way list and cards basically work, and they are the two primary components of material design. And then you have shadows also. Like I mentioned, you have a Z property now associated, which is like the elevation. So size of the shadow, views with higher Z values cast bigger shadows, and they appear on top of other views. Then you have animations, which are part of material design. So you can basically these uh, you know read through these introductions basically for material design. I'll be sharing the links in my blog post as well as below in the video description. So go through this in the next, I mean, in the coming articles or in the coming videos. You're going to learn how to use material design, how to make use of cards and lists, I mean, recycler views. So get yourself familiarized with the theory part, and it might be a good idea to read the principles, the idea, philosophy behind material design, why it came into existence, and how it can benefit your apps. So go ahead and go through the documentation, and we'll see you in the next lecture.